Hi, this is Jeffrey Kurt, Kurt Financial Group. Today's Friday, April 10, 2026. So we got some economic news that's influencing the market and being more important than the geopolitical, at least for this morning. The CPI index, Consumer Price Index, and inflation number came out for March, which was higher than February and up year over year. But that's to be expected with oil prices and gasoline prices being up so much recently. And the numbers were 3.3 increase in inflation in March versus 2.4 in February. Those are year over year numbers. Month over month was up 0.9% versus 0.3%. Again, inflation's higher. That was to be expected. And I guess actually these numbers were less than what was expected, so that's kind of good news. The other good news is that with this higher inflation might be slowing the economy and actually improve the chances of an interest rate cut by the Fed sooner rather than later. We'll see about that. I think they're going to be on hold for a bit. But for this morning, again, the take is that this is market-friendly news. Turning to the Middle East, I was thinking about this, had a conversation with someone who's actually, his career was in intelligence and also intelligence in the Middle East, so very familiar with what's going on. And he made a comment that I thought was pretty interesting. When again, negotiating with Iran, that as he described it, here's a country with a suicide vest strapped to his chest. So again, they are not necessarily rational at all times, and if they start blowing infrastructure up, it's going to take a while to build that back. And I know the markets are aware of this, but also now in the past week we've had such a nice rally that maybe there's more confidence in China and other parties trying to be the intermediary in the negotiations and bringing an end to this, and that confidence, I guess, being reflected in the stock markets. And I don't know if again, the possibility of irrational Iran with a suicide pact strapped to itself is necessarily picked up by the algorithms. But I think there's certainly some risk here. But for now, the markets this morning are focused on inflation not being as bad as feared, and we are rallying. So we'll leave it at that. Have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday. Please like, subscribe, share, and listen along any comments. Thank you again. Goodbye.